I'm Desiree Logan.
My name is Jacarri Neal,
I'll be marrying Jacarri Neal
and I am marrying Desiree Logan,
on September 29th.
2019, at the historic post office. Where I was in my life before I met Desiree, I was dating, and I was tired of dating. I was looking for God to send me someone that could complete me because I was looking for a bunch of different women to do the job that one woman could do.
So when I first met Jacarri, I felt like I was at a low point in my life. I was struggling through grad school, and I wasn't sure if I had gotten the job that I wanted at the time. And additionally, I was seeing other people, but I wasn't getting quality men. So it was really refreshing to meet Jacarri.
Desiree and I, before we officially met in real life, as I would like to say, we had a couple interactions on social media.
So he slid in my DMs, simple as that. So I was at my grandmother's house in DC when I unexpectedly get this message from Jacarri, and all I can remember is this guy looks really good, and he's having this casual conversation like he knows me.
She would say that I was speaking to her like I knew who she was, but I thought she had a familiar face. But we had a few of these off and on conversations on social media. You know, she would ask me different questions about what I did for a living because I was always out of town. She said, who can travel that much? Who can get that much leave and still have a job?
After a few months of just having casual conversations on social media, on St. Patrick's Day of 2016, we actually bumped into each other at Bar Louie in Hampton.
I was out one night at Bar Louie's with my little god sister, Marcy, and Desiree and her friend were out as well.
So me and my friend Ayana were walking to the bathroom, and I spot Jacarri on the way coming out of the bathroom.
And she approached me.
And I just say, hello, how you doing?
Hey, Jacarri, is what she said.
And we just have a conversation, but as you can imagine, over the party goers and the loud music, it wasn't really a quality conversation. And I really wasn't expecting much from that. But we did exchange numbers, and we just got to know each other for several months after that.
After 6 months of texting and, checking up on each other and a couple failed attempts along the way, we finally had our first date. And the first date took place in Virginia Beach Town Center. So I was on the phone with my business partner, Tamika. I was telling her, hey, look, I don't know how this first date is going to go. I don't know if I want to do it. So she said, no, just do it. Just do it. Fill it out. Give it a fair shot. So I pulled in the parking garage, and Desiree was standing there. And I saw her. She had on this trench coat with her hair down in these crinkles. And I said to Tamika on the phone, oh my gosh, she looks so good, Tamika. I'm going to call you back. So I get off the phone with Tamika. And I get out the car, and Desiree and I walk to the Cheesecake Factory.
On our first date, we went to Virginia Beach Town Center, and we went to Bravo's Casina Italiana, which was a really nice restaurant. He got me wine. It was awesome. He knew the manager, so he was able to get the hookup.
Where I was in my life as far as how God was working and moving in my life, a lot of women don't really appreciate that. So when she and I were sitting down at the restaurant and we were talking about it, I was telling my story about the things he was doing. No woman has ever had the interest in hearing it the way she had.
He was totally not what I expected. I thought he was a good-looking guy. I was thinking he was probably just, full of himself, conceited, and maybe not much to him. But he turned out to be completely the opposite of that.
Just sitting next to her, her presence, her energy, just being able to look at her as a woman that didn't have ulterior motives but had a solid interest in learning more about who I was.
And I think that's what I fell in love with that night. So that was very refreshing to know on our very first date. So I think after having that conversation about, God, our testimonies, religion, he introduced me to some of his friends.
They were kind of filling her out and getting to know her. Tamika said, I like her. She's it. she's the one, because Desiree is so sharp and she's so witty, and she's, she brings everything, to my life. I feel like that I was missing. For the proposal, I had already had in my mind for 6 months when I wanted to propose to Des. And I had purchased a ring probably 5 months prior to the proposal.
The week Jacarri proposed to me, he called me one day, he said, Des, I want us to go out on Saturday night. And that may sound normal to some couples, but for us, that was a little strange because we typically don't hang out on Saturday. I usually see him on Sundays and many times throughout the week.
The date that I had planned to propose to her was November 17th. The significance of November 17th is because that was my parents' wedding anniversary. And this particular year made 45 years for them. So leading up to that, I'm having to hide a ring from her, and I'm having to keep this proposal idea and thoughts away from her.
But throughout the week leading up to Saturday, he's just like, I'm so excited about Saturday. I'm so excited about Saturday. I had never seen him this excited, so I'm just like, what's going on Saturday? But of course, he wouldn't tell me.
One thing that Desiree always told me about the proposal is, make sure you got my nails done. She said, please don't propose to me if my hair is crazy and my nails not done. So that always sat in the back of my mind. So we leave the house and we're headed to the nail tech.
And he takes me to go get my nails done. Now, granted, we have a trip to Jamaica the next week, and this is around Thanksgiving time. So I'm thinking like, oh, he's just trying to help me out. He's trying to help me get ready for this trip in a couple days. So I go there and I'm like, yes, I don't have to pay for my nails, and I get my nails done, and I have not one, not two, but 3 people working on me.
So we leave out of the nail salon and we're heading to the venue where we were going to have lunch and drinks at Sonoma's Wine Bistro in Virginia Beach Town Center. I had a photographer set up. The photographer texts me and tells me that she's 30 minutes behind because she left her camera at home. So now I have an anxious, inquisitive Desiree who I have to hide for 30 to 35 minutes or kind of kill time for, I guess.
So we leave the nail salon and he takes me to Sonoma's, this little wine bistro in Virginia Beach Town Center. So we get there and we're greeted by this husband and wife server that's assigned to our table.
And they presented us with our bottle of wine. They knew we weren't eating there, but they presented us with our bottle of wine. I asked Desiree, could I FaceTime my parents so she can speak to them on FaceTime to congratulate them on the 45th wedding anniversary? She said, fine. While she's on the phone with my parents, she sees her brother Eddie and her sister Jaleesa walk past the bistro.
And I'm confused and a little perplexed because they don't live in Virginia Beach. They live in Hampton, which is 45 minutes away. So I immediately rush out the door and I confront them. I say, hey, what are you guys doing here? You don't live here. Are you guys having sibling time without me?
So Desiree comes back in. She's very flustered. She's very upset that they were having dinner without her. So she takes the phone back. She congratulates my parents. I hand the phone to the husband and wife server,
and he drops down on one knee. And I have to be honest, when I saw him drop to one knee, I missed the entire proposal. Like, he could have called me
destiny for all she knows. But I had been working on this speech and this proposal for her for about 3 months or so. She probably didn't hear it, but needless to say that she said
yes. And so after I say yes, he's like, you know what? I got one more surprise for you. And I was like, what is it? I got a brand new car? Just jokingly. But he said, no, come follow me to the back. So we walk out that same back door and I see his 2 friends, Tamika and Damon. And I'm a little thrown off because he told me that Damon was going to Jamaica that day. So I'm like, Damon, what are you doing here? I thought you were on a flight to Jamaica. And he's like, no, Des, look down.
And they present Desiree with another gift, an 8-week-old puppy named Cairo.
that was to me just the icing on the cake. That just showed me he loves me so much. He would get a dog for me, knowing that one, he doesn't like dogs, and two, he's allergic, but it's all good.
We proceed to walking outside, and I told Desiree, a special evening deserves a special conclusion. I know both of us are hungry. I know we were coming to Sonoma's to eat, but that wasn't the plan. The plan was to eat at this location. I had made reservations for us at Bravo's, which is where our first date took place. We had a reservation, not for two, but we had a reservation for a group of people that welcomed us as a new engaged couple.
Jacarri, I just want to say that I love you so much, and I just thank you for putting up with me and all of my shenanigans. I know I'm a handful. I know I get on your nerves, but I just thank you for putting me at ease and for just being that rock that I need in my life. So I love you much. Love you always.